So this is a very special edition of our...
This is an extra special edition.
It's extra special, not just because it is another fun episode of Palmas Peeps and the parents who made them, but...
Very witty. You come up with that just now?
I
Spot
came up
on.
with it a little while ago.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Good one.
Thank you. And but also, one of our guests is his birthday today.
Yay!
So
It's actual
Clint
today.
Hedin and his mother Janice here, all the way from Washington.
You got it.
We're so happy.
Long trek,
we're
long
so
flight.
happy to
Yeah.
have you
Yeah.
on.
Thank you.
Yay.
It's great to be
We
here.
have
It's
so
exciting.
many fun things to talk about. Yay! But before we get started, we need to acknowledge that it is Clint's birthday.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Aaron was kind enough to make brownies
Oh, they're looking good.
with a candle just for him. You're going to light it? Nice. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe.
ooh,
There we go.
very nice.
Do we sing?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Clint. Happy birthday to you.
Wow, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Wow, we sounded good.
you. Yeah.
On Channel 4.
And many more.
And I have
I love it.
prepared a poem for
Okay,
your birthday.
okay.
Wait, he has to blow out his candle first.
okay.
That's true.
Right.
Got to make a wish.
Yes,
blow-
make
blow-
a
blow
wish,
out the
blow out the
candle.
candle.
Make sure you really
Yes.
blow into the microphone so we can hear that you did it. So I have prepared a poem for your birthday with the help of AI because
Oh, why not? Of
course.
Because it's there.
it's there and it helps.
Mm-hmm.
And this is called A Toast to Clint, a Stellar Friend.
Well, we get to know the prompt you use. I'm a little curious about that.
I use the best prompts.
Okay, here we go.
I talk about how awesome you are,
All right.
and it helped me.
And ChatGPT knows.
And he just knows. It just knows. It's amazing. It's just whatever. Okay, so on your special day, we've got more than just happy birthday to say. From our first meet in the e-commerce sphere to a growing friendship we all hold dear. In Palmas Del Mar, where palm trees sway, your friendship's a beacon, bright as day. A presence so bright, a mind so vast, in every gathering, you're unsurpassed. You're not just a friend, but a unicorn rare, with wisdom and jokes always ready to share. Alongside Trish and sweet Emily too, your family's a treasure through and through. So here's to Clint, whose heart is pure gold. May this year bring adventures bold. For all that you are, we just want to say you light up our world. Happy birthday.
Well, gee, that was very thoughtful, very considerate. Thank you very much.
I love it.
That's amazing.
She's crying already.
Sorry. I didn't plan for that. That's amazing. Oh, gosh,
Very
that was
thoughtful.
great.
Oh, I loved it.
Ooh.
Thank you, Becky.
I think
Thank
we'll,
you.
I think
Thank
we'll,
you.
we'll renew your friendship lease.
Okay, good. One more year. One more year.
One more year.
Yeah.
Another year. I feel like I need to first ask, what was Clint like as a kid?
Oh, boy. Do I have to pick just one character
No,
quality?
no.
Like, give us an idea. Paint a picture. Was he
Okay.
energetic?
No. I mean, he wasn't real, like, fast-paced, super high energies.
He was too busy thinking about
I was going to say
everything.
more methodical.
Yes.
Yeah, not real rapid movement, but very methodical, very adventurous. He was more of a rule follower. He'd like me. Kept his room clean
Oh, nice.
All of these things
Wow.
track.
most of the time. Yeah, methodical. Always thinking. Wheels are always spinning. Willing to try different things. If it was everyone was doing something one way, he'd look for another way to do it. Whether he did it by himself or with someone else, he didn't mind going against the grain, adventuring out. Yeah, that's what comes to mind.
Yeah, makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Mm-hmm.
Good kid.
Good kid.
Until we got into our teens. No.
What happened then?
Yeah, I don't know how much. Yeah, no.
Was he He wasn't a troublemaker, I'm sure.
Behind the wheel, he got a lot of trouble behind the wheel. A lot of tickets canceled.
Speeder?
There were
Yeah.
a few
A few?
tickets here
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there. What's the SR22? You have to get the special insurance. I was one step shy of
yes.
one step
Okay,
shy of
but
that.
you didn't
Yes.
get there.
No, didn't get there. Didn't get there. But just right up to the edge.
Okay.
Right up to
Yeah,
the edge.
I'm
yeah.
surprised that I was never on that edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he got canceled from our insurance, so you were you were off our policy. I remember that.
Yep,
And
yep.
then one particular event where you had to go to trial,
Yeah, yep, exactly.
and instead of
My
just
first ticket, I believe that was my first.
was that the first one? A negligent? It was a negligent.
It
no,
was.
what was it?
improper lane travel.
Improper-
Yeah,
and
fought that
he
down to improper
spent-
lane travel.
He spent days researching. He spent days researching laws and creating his own case to be his own defense.
So you are a lawyer.
I mean, when you need to.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
license is hanging in the balance. I mean, it probably was 17.
Yeah, I thought
Maybe
that's where it was
17
going.
about
was
there.
law, because he delved into that deep to make a case.
Wow.
yeah.
Did it work out for you?
Improper lane travel, just
Versus
regular
what was
citation.
what was-
negligent driving was the original
Okay.
charge, and then
Negligent.
down to improper lane travel. And later bought an Acura Integra, the
Yeah,
era of Fast
Yeah.
and Furious, right? Lowered aftermarket exhaust, and then a host of tickets that would come with that, even
Yeah.
up to and including. Not having a front license plate, right? Okay, ticket for that. Aftermarket exhaust is not DOT approved. You can get a ticket for that. So yeah, then a few more.
I mean, I
things.
feel like
What's
all
the-
those things are like.
What's the
that's nothing.
fastest speeding ticket that you've gotten? Like, how fast were you going?
I don't know
boy.
that really that really wasn't
Not too bad? No.
not too bad. I'm not sure about Puerto Rico and Washington. You'll go to jail if you're 20 over or something like that.
Yeah.
Never like that. Maybe 9, 10ish.
Sure.
Is
Okay.
is generally the range. Mhm.
Would you consider yourself a good driver now?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Mhm.
Do you
But we
speed
knew
here?
the local officers were on the lookout for him.
Yeah.
I mean, we're watching for him. I shouldn't
Yeah.
say on the lookout, but we knew that.
It's a small town.
It's
yeah.
small.
Oh, sure.
It's a
small-
Yeah,
Maple
that's
Valley
how
was
our
a
town
very
too,
small
yeah.
town.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
They had it in for you.
Well, once they got
Yeah.
you once, they expected you to do it again. So then they would always be looking out for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta love those small towns.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I actually have a random question that I need to ask real quick. My note is Clint birthday party, caramel apple, and onion someone put into it.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good
What?
one. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
What? Is that-
That's a
I,
good
I
one.
would like to hear this story, please.
You go ahead. That was at our house.
That was. Gee, Mom, how old do you think that was? Older than 10. Nobody had driver's licenses,
No,
right? Parents have to
no.
drop the kids off. So
Right.
I'm going to pick a number, maybe 12, 13, something like
Yeah,
that.
at the most.
Old enough so some of the kids are independent, but young enough so they need rides back and forth. We grew up on it was 2.5 acres, small farm, so good sized outdoor area, right? Build a fort in the woods, and we're outdoors most of the time. My mom had organized some
What town?
games. What
town?
town is called Maple Valley? It's
Okay.
southeast King County, just outside of Seattle.
Okay.
So so there's a good amount of land. We're not. I'm trying to paint the picture here where we have a lot of space to run around and play. And my mom had put together a couple of games, typical party games that kids would play. One of which had to do with caramel apples. And of course, you get a whole bunch of 10, 12, 13-year-old boys together, caramel apples. That's going to be a hit. The game is my mom had ahead of time prepared a bunch of caramel apples, right? 10, 12 apples for all the kids. And the game was, now this is in a series of games, so this is maybe the third or fourth game, not the first game. And there's good prizes that I don't even know what the prizes are. So all my friends are competing, trying to win the prizes. The competition is who can take the biggest bite of the caramel apple, and it gets measured based on the bite size of who wins. Everybody gets one shot, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a tray of carameled apples. Everybody pick a carameled apple, and you take the biggest bite you can, right? And all of these are carameled apples, except for one was a carameled onion.
Did you know that?
I did not know that. I did, and neither did any of my party attendees. This was a secret that all
Nice
that,
big Walla Walla sweet.
Oh yeah. So as you can,
Wow.
it wasn't me. I didn't pick the magic apple. But of course, one unfortunate young
Right,
man
yeah.
took a giant bite of a carameled onion.
Did
Yeah.
he at least win the biggest bite?
Gosh,
I-
I don't remember.
I hopefully he got a consolation prize.
Did his
Right.
eyes- did his eyes tear up?
If
and-
not, maybe you owe him.
Oh, for sure. You're mentally not prepared. You get the sweet of the caramel on the
Yeah.
outside, and only as you're chewing on the onion do you begin to realize you have a mouthful of
is not an
onion.
Onion.
It is not an apple that you're eating.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fun. Yeah.
That's great
You're really
that you
proud
did
of
that,
yourself,
though.
weren't you?
Yeah. Gotta keep it interesting. Yeah. Keep the kids
I
guessing.
love that.
I love that too. That's so
That was
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
I think if I had kids, I would like to do stuff like that.
Mess with their friends. Yeah.
How could I mess with them today?
Good times.
Oh,
Good
gosh.
times.
That's
so
awesome.
now you were homeschooled.
That's true. Yeah,
and,
that's
and,
correct.
and now this is really interesting because homeschooling this wasn't a big thing in your
It was
area.
not legal.
Yeah, yeah.
It was not
Oh, it
legal in the
wasn't
state
legal.
of Washington. It was not legal at the, no, at the
So
time.
you're a rule breaker then.
I got involved in a grassroots movement to make it legal.
Wow.
That was really a passion for me.
How
I
long
wanted
did it
to
take
make
to
that
make that
possible.
happen?
3 years.
3 years. And
Yeah.
so what age, what grade were you in when you started homeschooling then, Clint?
It would have been 8 years old. There's
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
compulsory attendance kicked in at age
At
8.
eight.
Yeah.
And so it was either this became legal or I was going to public school.
Yeah. We actually considered moving. I don't know if you knew that, Clint, but if it didn't become legal the third time we introduced legislation, Dad and I talked about moving out of state because we were the 39th state to make it legal, and we're thinking
Yeah, you could go somewhere
move
else.
out of
and-
state. It became really important to us that this happened.
What was the driver behind that?
Bottom line for me, personally, I wanted to be with this kid. I had a really wonderful career at a utility in Washington State, thinking this is where I'm going. And when I got pregnant with him, I had my maternity leave mapped out to the hour. I mean, I was going back. I'm on this really wonderful course. And then the day he was born, 40 plus years ago today, today, when I saw him for the first time, I knew I wasn't going back. But I did go back for 11 and a half months, and I retired on that day because I was vested in the retirement plan. Now, a lot of women can do both, career and parent. I'm not one of them. And I found that out within 24 hours after meeting him.
Oh,
I love that.
I mean, I'm serious. I was thinking about this in preparation for this conversation because I remember it like it was yesterday because the shock to me, I didn't anticipate it. So, yeah, for 11 months I went back to work, and that was the hardest time. I did not want to leave him. So then comes kindergarten, and he's got to go to school, and I said, no, I don't think so. I'm not ready to leave him. Well, preschool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it just goes on from there.
wow. And you made it happen.
It worked. I'm not alone. It was very much a strong grassroots movement. Eastern and Western Washington State are like two different states. So we had to come to the legislators and lobby united. And that took us a while to figure that out. Yeah.
Wow.
But it was exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. And look how good he turned out.
I'm pretty pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and too, didn't you kind of graduate like what would be high school early?
There was a program called Running Start that
Okay.
I did sign up for and take part in. So there was a local community college. I think we were just talking about this the other night. I think it
Yes.
was it 16, 17?
17 you
17
started.
that I started
Yeah.
Running Start.
Exactly.
Went to a year and a half or so at a local community college, which would have been college credits at the same time you're getting high school credits, and then went over to Wadsley, Washington State University.
Wow. That's incredible.
He did go to school one day.
Yeah, it's this.
you remember?
Yeah. Well, there's the one day at Tahoma where, so when you participate in Running Start, the tax dollars follow you wherever you're going to go. So you need to enroll in a local high school. So the money goes to the high school, and then it's immediately diverted to whatever college you're going to. So I did enroll in Tahoma, became a public school student there, really just so the money passed through to the college that I was going to. Other than that, yeah, I think I did one test day at like Covington Christian. Is that no Maple Valley Christian School?
No, what I was thinking about, that was our homeschool testing that we did each year. But when the law passed in May of 1985, it was a pretty big deal because it impacted the compulsory attendance laws. I mean, it gave, prior to that, a year earlier, the compulsory attendance law was changed to include private education. So the very next year now, home-based instruction becomes another way to meet compulsory attendance requirements. So it was a big deal. A lot of media coverage. It was pretty exciting. And he was invited to school with a little buddy, and I don't remember who it was, as his show and tell project. He was a homeschooler.
Oh,
This
funny.
kid, here's my buddy, and he never goes to school. He was
Oh
a
my
show and
God, I
tell
love
project
that.
one
For
day.
show and tell.
Yes, yes.
Really, first generation, probably one of the oldest homeschoolers, definitely out of Washington State, right?
Yeah.
Because at 8 is when the compulsory
Compulsory
attendance laws
attendance.
changed. So you can be
Wow.
from other states, but if you're from Washington, probably
Yeah.
about one of the oldest, the first generation
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
kids to do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what did you have regular classes, or was it more interest-based? Like how did it work back then?
Yeah, great question. I think part of my homeschool experience was definitely somewhat unique, frankly, given who my mom is and how connected she is in the community, right? Because you end up knowing dozens, if not hundreds, of other families and other kids. So we did tons of field trips. When I got to high school, things like math, biology, we were just talking about this the other day, there were specific teachers, maybe a local high school teacher or a college professor that has a deeper experience in these topics, and then a group of homeschool kids get together for that topic. So we did that for math, for biology, for maybe the more harder sciences where mom and dad, if they haven't dove into the textbooks recently, it's get someone else to come in and be a pitch hitter.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So that's how we solved those problems.
Wow.
Yeah, and that worked well for us. It was when you tap into the resources of the community, people who love to share what they learn with teens and kids who want to be in that seat. It's a whole different dynamic that occurs when they want to be there and learn from you. And the teachers were not difficult to find. Well, many of them were homeschooling parents themselves. But that was great to tap into the resources of people who wanted to share expertise to our children. It was great. I
That's
think
so
algebra
cool.
was the first time we did it.
And that's
I
kind of
remember.
cool because now Emily gets to kind of be in that kind of community too. I mean, look at, look at, I mean, I hear different things about these kids. You know, you have so many interesting people here, successful people here that get to kind of share their insights, you know, and how awesome would it be to be a homeschooled kid here? I think,
Sure.
you know,
Yeah.
it's really cool. I love it.
I want to know more about, because before we hit record, you guys were talking about how you've been on you've been interviewed, you've been on podcasts, and you're saying like so connected in the community. So I want to hear more about that.
Yes. One of the ways to qualify to homeschool, there are 4 options to be able to qualify to educate your own in Washington State. One of the ways is to teach a homeschool parent qualifying course. So a friend of mine and I, for a little over 20 years, taught a homeschool parent qualifying course through Pacific Lutheran University in Washington. And it's an accredited course. She had the teaching credentials, I didn't. So we taught that course, and that was a powerful thing to be a part of when you
Were
teach this.
you doing that while he was growing up?
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of that. We taught that 2 to 3 times every year through the university. And several of us, I got involved with the state organization, and my heart was advocacy. I wanted to protect what we fought for. So I was involved with a lot of liaison between state agencies, athletic association, superintendent of public instruction. I advocated for homeschooling because, well, I'll give you an example. A piece of legislation would be introduced that would, for example, lower the compulsory attendance age. In Washington, it's age 8. You have to be in public school, private school, or declared a homeschooler on their 8th birthday. Well, when someone would introduce legislation lowering that compulsory attendance age, most legislators didn't have a clue of how it would impact home-based instruction. So we would lobby and attend Senate and House meetings to make them aware of how it impacts us drastically. To this day, it's still age 8 in Washington State, and I think there may be only one other state that's that age. But
What does it do if they lower it?
if they lower it, number one, we would have to qualify to homeschool our children. We'd have to, one of the 4 ways to qualify homeschooling. We're obligated to test each year. We would be testing 6 and 7-year-olds, which we shouldn't be doing. So qualifying, testing, tracking their work at 6 and 7, depending on what age they chose. And that's too young to be doing that. It's not necessary, and we didn't want to succumb to that.
So are you still actively involved in
This is really strange because I just put my hat in the ring again
funny.
for speaking at our state conference this year. So yeah,
That's
I just really
amazing.
feel that's something that I
love that.
I feel a need to I want to get back and share a little bit of the history. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clint, what did
That's so
what
cool.
did you want to be when you were a kid?
What did I want to be?
Yeah.
There's an
Ooh.
amusing story that ties back with homeschooling. I'll distill this down to it. And how the Pyrodine story. Mom, was I 12,
gosh.
13? I'm just guessing a number
Well,
here.
it was 10 to 8.
10? Okay.
10.
So 10. We can take us back in time to 30 years ago. There's no Google. There's no right. You're not looking stuff up online. You used phone books, yellow pages, white pages, and the question is posed to me: what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, like any 10-year-old, well, I want to sell fireworks. Why not? That's
He
what
loved
that's what
fire.
every 10-year-old. I want fireworks, right? Can I get paid for that? Is that a thing? And it just illustrates the house that I grew up in. That conversation turns into Mom pulling out the yellow pages and white pages. That's how you found numbers back then, and flip to F for fireworks. Really nothing under fireworks. Well, what else is there? A thesaurus. And what else? What is another word? Pyrotechnics. Okay, well, let's go to P. Let's look up pyrotechnics. And that leads us to a company called Pyrodine. I'm 10 years old, just a kid, but you see these things happen, and you just frankly you just expect that that's the way the world runs. So Mom makes a call, and Dad gets involved, and where this goes is ultimately, I believe we had a fireworks stand that year.
That
right?
year.
I believe we got connected with a distributor, set up a fireworks stand, and I worked in a fireworks stand that year, and that worked out, and we had a fireworks stand the next year, and the next year,
And the next,
probably
and then 10
maybe
years.
maybe a decade.
10 years.
Our family ran fireworks stands.
Wait. So you got a hold of the fireworks and you set up your own stand?
There's different ways. There's different ways of doing it. In Washington State, the company that we connected with, you're going to sign a contract. Maybe you have the location. Maybe you have if you have a location, that's great. If not, they'll work with local landowners, strip mall owners, handle the leasing for you. They'll set up the stand. They break down the stand as far as the plywood, the construction of it. You're going to work it. You're going to be there every day.
Yeah.
And there's a box truck that comes and delivers you fireworks, based on whatever you sold the night before. What do you need new inventory of? And you keep track of inventory and sell fireworks.
So you're 10 years old, and you're
He's in
like,
business.
and you're in business
He's
because
in
you want to
business.
sell fireworks.
Yeah.
You're like, I want to give this a shot. That's what I want to do. And Mom and Dad are like, yeah, let's
Sure,
make that
let's do
happen.
it.
Sure.
Why not?
Let's sell fireworks,
That's
yeah.
not the norm.
No.
I wanted to
No.
be an actress. And they're like, that's nice, honey.
Yeah, same. I even got offered.
Good luck with that.
I was offered to be on the new Leave It to Beaver.
Wow.
I think.
What?
That's so cool.
I had family in California, and they I don't know. I don't even know how old I was, like 12 maybe. And yeah, I met like this woman that was like, you would be perfect. And then I was like, Mom, we have to move to California. And she was like, no. I'm like, okay, well, can I go live with my grandparents then? And she's like, no. And so I just got shot down. It's okay. The show never took off, so that's fine. Kudos to you, because that's amazing.
Yeah, that is incredible.
It was his. He was the driver behind the whole thing, and he had to be. I remember you couldn't leave the stand. We had a trailer, and he was head of security because he had a dog named Dakota. So he was a head of security, and he met that utility truck and that driver every day, with the cash and the receipts and all the sales, and grabbed the inventory, helped him with the inventory. It was. I watched him in business at 10 years old.
That is incredible.
Not really knowing.
Yeah.
It was pyrotechnics and fireworks that he was making them at home. He was making fireworks at home.
Did you clean up pretty good with that? Like
It worked well. That our family ended up doing it for close to a decade.
Yeah.
it's just
A lot of work. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of work. And
So for how long would you do it for? Like
It's
a month?
No, it's about 7 to 10
depending
days.
on
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
It's 4th of July, right?
Yeah.
So you are really trading your 4th of July.
Yeah.
That's the biggest sales day is 4th of July and the day before.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So there's everything leading up to that, and then the
Right.
breakdown on July 5th. So it's about a week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Crazy.
Fun. A lot of work, but fun. One year,
Yeah.
this thought just came to me. He would make a goal. He didn't do it every year, to increase sales by 10%. See, he got a percentage of sales. He didn't get all the money.
Yeah.
And he would negotiate with us an increase in the percentage of his take every few years. Yeah. So he's learning how to negotiate.
okay. I need to change the subject for a second because I had something come to memory, and I want to make sure I don't forget to talk about this. I've heard from Trish that you are very flexible. That
Oh,
you,
yes.
That you have a routine.
You have a
every
stretching
morning,
routine, and we need to know what it is.
And she told me that you can bend over and you can put your forearm on the ground, whereas most of us can barely touch our feet.
I was showing off to Emily yesterday morning after we got out of bed.
Let's talk about that.
No. Oh my goodness.
But we really want to know what you do because we need to do it.
We need to start doing this, so we need to know what your routine is.
It's the routine was out of necessity. I have eye medications that I put in every morning and every night, and it takes quite a bit of time. So in between eye drops, I'm stretching. In between these eye drops, I'm not just going to sit here and waste time. So several years ago, I started just stretching in between eye drops, and it's helped me with my balance and over time. But
And when this is done, I'm going to need to see the forearms on the ground. That just blows my mind. Trish is like, she looks like a contortionist.
Oh goodness! All right, Trish.
Trish is in trouble.
Yep.
No,
That's fun. No, that's fun. That's
This
very
is your 4th trip to Puerto Rico?
8th. I think it's number 8.
Oh,
my
wow.
gosh.
They took my only granddaughter. Hey, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to show up as often as I can.
Well, it's a win for us, too. We get to see you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I miss her a lot. I miss them a lot. So
She is a pretty incredible kid.
she's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that we recorded an episode with her?
Yes, I found that out.
Yeah.
I would like to know, what is your fondest memory? Like mother-son memory.
Oh my.
Good question.
Yeah, we did as a kid, up and down the Oregon coast. If you remember that
Yes.
highway, would be Highway 101,
101.
Pacific Coast Highway, that runs from
Yes.
Washington down Oregon all the way down
Yep.
into California. Some great memories doing that
Oh.
with my grandma, with
Yeah.
my mom's mom. She had this old, was it a Chevy pickup?
Chevy pickup,
Right, with
65
with
Chevrolet with a
65
little
with the
camper on the back. Canopy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, not even campers. That's
Yes.
that's a bridge too far. It's really just
Just a
a
canopy.
canopy with plywood in the back.
Yep.
And we would have sleeping bags in that and crash in
yes.
state parks going down from Washington, so going south down into Oregon.
Yeah, that was
those
good.
trips were a lot of fun. That highway, that scenery out there, such good memories of doing that as a kid that we wanted to recreate that with Emily, which over the last year we did the opposite, flew into San Diego
Right.
and then drove up the West Coast. There's so much cool stuff to see out there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Gosh. This is going to sound insignificant, but to me it was significant. As homeschooling the first generation in Washington State, we parents felt like we really had something to prove. I mean, research was coming in that it was successful, nationally. We were really following national research that was going on, and we actually participated in a Washington State research project on homeschooling, test scores and all of that. But the test scores say one thing, but when you watch your own child and want to see success, that one day he was asked to do some work. He was available to work for people. He would go to work in their yards, and I don't know if you remember, but Sandy and Jean Hall had invited you. They'd moved into a new home, and they had a lot of landscaping to do. And they hired Clint to come and do some raking rocks, getting the ground ready. And I dropped him off early. Nobody was home. I dropped him off early. And when I came back to pick him up, she says to me, I can't believe it. I mean, he worked really hard. And she said, I didn't get home for quite a while. He just went to work. And he got all of this stuff done. And when I get home, he tells me what I need to do and where I need to put what and how I should do it. I thought, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
He's a
How
self-starter,
old? Do you remember?
maybe 12,
Wow.
13.
Yeah.
Self-starter, problem solver, critical thinker. That's what I wanted to see. That's the kind of student I had. And I thought, I mean, the academics were important, but those kind of qualities were really important to me,
Yeah.
that he was able to do that on his own.
Love that.
I like that.
I love
Yeah.
that.
That's awesome.
Clint, you got any secrets that you never told your mom?
Oh man.
Yeah, wow.
Oh man.
that you can tell her today. I
Yeah.
mean,
Here's the thing: when you're a kid, you think you have secrets. You're super smart.
Oh, that's actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you get older and you assume the parent role, and you realize
They
you didn't
knew.
have any
Yeah, they
secrets.
knew.
They knew everything. Yeah. You think you're real clever, right?
Yeah, I
so
know.
I'm sure 10, 12, 15-year-old Clint think he's he's
Getting away with this.
He's got it on lockdown. Yeah. 46-year-old Clint now knows there was
Yeah.
really nothing that escapes the watchful
I know
eye
something I want you to confess.
of mom and dad.
Oh.
I've always been curious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe, and
Ooh,
if
this
this
is
isn't
good.
appropriate, then you can just
No,
edit
I'm
it out.
excited
Oh,
about
we love
this.
this.
In your bedroom,
Yeah.
you were young teen, maybe, and you had this plastic container of, you told me it was catnip.
Yep.
Was that marijuana?
No.
Okay, really?
What was it?
What was
What
it?
It
was
was
it?
actually catnip. We had
What?
cats.
We had cats. Okay.
Oh.
I've always been wanting to ask you, but I hadn't had the nerve to ask you. And I thought, by now, let it go.
Wow.
But I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted.
It
Wondered.
was catnip.
Apparently, I
He
didn't.
wasn't getting stoned. He wanted the cats to get stoned. If you guys could solve one world problem together, what would it be and why?
One
You have to work together to solve a problem.
one world. Okay, that's
world. Wow.
It would be. It would definitely be education. It would be education
Right.
centric,
Right.
and that goes. I've had ideas for different businesses along the way, and it always comes back to. How can you create a repeatable franchise system for folks that maybe the largely migratory type workforce and they're cash based, they don't have savings accounts, they're not saving for their kids' college fund, their retirement, and it goes. If I do that, it still goes back to education. That I think small businesses can change the world. Entrepreneurship can change communities and people's lives in a huge, dramatic way. But that only gets embraced if there's the education foundation to build on it. And without that, then it's kind of futile. So it would be education, across the board, writ large? Like, what does that mean in particular? That means reading, math, everything, and understanding that meant sports teams don't matter, but can you read when you graduate high school? It's crazy that there's people that's okay, that we say as a country, it's okay to do that to our kids. I don't think that's a higher form of love. A higher form of love is saying, no, we're going to hold you accountable because we want you to be more successful in life when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
And it's not love to say, it's okay, just take your diploma and walk out. That's not caring for your fellow man. So it would be education.
Definitely, yeah. That's good, Clint, and I agree wholeheartedly.
I feel like you kind of led the way in that
Well,
already.
it's just that our system of education, when we have our children, we make the assumption they're gone. 4, 5, 6, definitely by 8, they're out of the house and they're gone. I wish I had a magic wand that I could tell parents, you're going to miss a lot by sending them out of your home. I would encourage them to take their own responsibility and find the joy in it. I mean, I look back and part of my real transformation was realizing I'm not going to be able to teach these children for very far academically. And this is what I want other parents to know, that you don't have to do it. But become a student right along with your kids. Learn with them, through them, because of them, in spite of them. That's where I was able to stick with it, is because I found so much joy in watching them learn and learning with them. That's what I want parents to know. If I could turn a switch and say, I want you to know what you're missing. Give it a chance. It's not you don't have to, but just give it a chance. Keep them 1 year longer. 5 years old is incredible. 6 years old, it just gets better. It's not all perfect. It's scary at times. And I'm not saying there weren't days occasionally you're going to school.
Well,
Didn't happen often,
well,
but
what's really cool too
want
is it sounds
parents.
like you had a decent group of other kids who are being homeschooled. So it's because I think that's like a couple of friends in my life. They're considering homeschooling, but they're really nervous about it because pulling their kids out of school, and now they're like, well, are they going to lose friends? And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't think so. So they're in school in the daytime, like you're not going to, and you can hang out with them. Just because you leave a school
Exactly.
doesn't mean you have to
Yeah.
cut ties with your friends.
Not at all.
And on top of it, once you start going down that path, you're going to just see how many kids are homeschooled
Yes.
today.
Yeah.
And you're going to find all these amazing groups.
Mm-hmm.
And I just,
well, and
yeah.
especially here.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of homeschooling
Yeah.
here.
It's incredible. Yeah. I just like parents to know you can give this a chance.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I homeschooled one of Sean's girls, Ava, for a year. She had some stuff going on at the school that she was at, some bullying stuff, so we pulled her out. And for the next year, this would have been 8th grade, I homeschooled her, and Trish was a huge help
Sure,
in
yeah.
that. She, Nicole, the math lady, and I learned, we did interest-based stuff. We got her out, and it was such a great year. And it was hard for me because she's in Wisconsin and I'm here, but we made it
Okay.
work.
Oh, you did.
And she was ready because they were going to be going to a new school for high school, and she really wanted to try going back to high school. And it was cool that she didn't feel like she was behind at all.
Good.
I really kind of kept her at a good pace with her sister. So, but it was a cool opportunity.
Yes.
And now I get to say too that I had that with her.
Yeah.
I have like a little
That
special
time.
bond with her, I guess.
Yeah. So important. Yeah.
Do you guys have any traditions or in your family?
Growing up, we definitely had some. Every Christmas Eve at Grandma's house.
Oh, yeah.
That was always.
Big
It's happening
tradition.
absolutely every year.
Yeah.
My mom's one of how many brothers,
6.
sisters?
That was 6,
So-
6 children.
Yeah, and then the nieces, nephews.
Yeah, big
that
family.
was every year, Christmas Eve, Grandma, Grandpa's. Mhm.
Big family.
What's a piece of outdated advice your mom has given you that turned out to be incredibly useful?
outdated.
Outdated
Give me
advice?
that one more time. Outdated advice.
Yeah, this one I had a list. I like this. Yeah, I know this is a little complicated, but you're super smart, so this should be okay for you. What's a piece of outdated advice your mom has given you that turned out to be incredibly useful?
Oh man, right off the top is put sunscreen on. I mean, that's like every kid, right? Where we live here, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Big
is
time.
funny because if you don't know Clint and you're listening to this, you may see him out walking around Palmas, and he's
Long
always
sleeve
got
with the
on
thing.
long
He's
sleeves
really
with his
tall.
hood. And I'm like, how is he not like dying out there? Because it's so
That's
hot.
good, Clint. That's a good one. Yeah.
If you ever want it to rain, then just ask Clint to go take a walk.
That's true. That is actually scientifically accurate. It is. If I head out to do my daily walk, it is probably going to rain. Beautiful, not a cloud in the sky, and it will start. I have come home drenched, absolutely just soaked. Yeah.
I can think of a little bit at the time. I don't think you grasped the severity of this advice, but I think you've come to understand it was very good advice. He got very involved in the sport of paintballing. And
I did.
yeah, for years. He started a business called Ground Zero Paintball, and he was beginning to purchase guns and paint and so forth. And I can remember the first customer you had.
Yeah.
What age?
What age would that have been when you started your business?
Well, it was It was
After the fireworks.
Probably,
Well,
probably,
maybe,
probably,
but-
probably around that. Probably around, there'll be overlap.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, my allowance was $4 a week, and if you want to play paintball, $4 is not going to cut it, right?
Yeah, so you had to do
you gotta
something.
hustle. What else are you going to do, right? You only pick weeds and chop wood, but. 4th of July money works, but I still need more. So that was the catalyst for
Yeah.
Ground Zero Paintball. It would have been the business license. My mom had a flower arranging company, Hedin
Yeah.
Enterprises, and I used her business license. My last name's Hedin, so right, it still says.
Which I just learned the other day.
Yeah,
when
we've been
we
calling you
talked to
Hedin
Emily.
forever. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looks like that. So I mean, I wasn't old enough to have my own business license,
Right.
and I couldn't drive back then, right?
Right.
So what was that? Probably my 13th birthday party, where I played paintball for my
At the field.
maybe 13th or 14th.
Yeah.
Amusing story in front of that was my parents had some concern that I would get shot and I would not want to play again. Like if we're going to pay for this
This
birthday
is gonna
party,
hurt.
you're gonna
Yeah,
go out there
yeah.
and do it, right? And we need to know that you can get shot. So they called my neighbor who was a paintball guy and had me stand in the driveway and had him shoot
get
me.
shot.
Yeah.
That was you better be able to
Yeah,
take
make
it
sure-
before
yeah.
we do this for your birthday. And I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
it bad enough that I got shot.
But and what about your friends?
They were just going, like their parents didn't make them get shot. And no, my mom
Okay.
and dad didn't shoot them either.
No,
They just
no,
shot me.
that's-
They
you're on your own.
But yeah, that was probably 13,
How did that
14.
conversation go? I'm inviting you to shoot my son.
Hey, Robert, would you come here and blast Clint here?
He's going to run down the driveway and shoot him in the back.
Yep,
That's
exactly. That's exactly what they did.
oh my
I think you got it right in the neck, if I remember right.
Yeah,
The back of your neck.
upper shoulder,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Still wanted to do it.
Yeah. So yeah, you got to want it bad enough.
Yeah, I guess,
And
yeah.
that-
Yeah.
So that was that playing for my birthday. That like okay, this is fun. I really dig this sport. So that was the catalyst for how do I make this happen? Given that I got the 4th of July money and there's a small allowance, but I got to do something else. And that was right. Entrepreneurial is the catalyst. There's a need somewhere, and that was the need for to create Ground Zero Paintball. So your business license, Mom, the
Yeah,
Hedin
yeah,
Enterprises.
that's right.
I'm guessing I didn't have a driver's license. 14.
Right. It's
Maybe-
Hedin Enterprises,
Wow.
yeah.
Maybe 14.
How far did this go?
It started with, again, this is back before internet, self-addressed stamped envelope, and I typed up a letter saying, hey, I have a retail business here in Washington State. Here's my business license. Please send me your wholesale catalog. And they did, because they didn't know I'm a 14-year-old kid that just wants to buy his gear cheap. So I get these price lists, and of course, showing that to my buddies, and that it's a lot cheaper than buying in regular retail stores. So there's minimum orders, and I would put together orders from these manufacturers. And that turns into, right, your buddies tell more people, and they start telling more people, and it started to kind of become a little bit of a thing. This was also around the time Amazon's not in the picture yet, but eBay is, and I discovered, well, I could start selling on eBay, and then ordering even larger quantities. So that ground zero turns into me selling. Really, it's a wholesaling business model, but I didn't know that was what it was back then. Selling paintball gear online through mostly through eBay, and then of course to friends. But yeah, that grew into eBay. When there was I became a platinum power seller when there was that eBay program.
At what age?
Up until I went to college, right? So until 18.
Probably 18. Yeah, probably 18.
What were you doing when you were 18, Erin?
I definitely wasn't a platinum
really. So
eBay
I don't think I
seller.
had even purchased anything.
I don't
on
think I even knew
eBay.
what
No,
eBay was.
I didn't actually
when I was
get
18.
that came late. So ground zero paintball was up until 18. Go to college, come back, and still like you're still broke. Like, yeah, you have your first job, but that's not a lot. Anyway, I've still got all of these wholesale connections, and people that I know at manufacturing outfits. So I'm gonna pick up ground. So a broke college kid eating top ramen. I didn't have a lot of money. I wasn't playing paintball in college. Maybe once or twice. Get out the other side and let's revive ground zero paintball again. And so I did. That's when I earned the platinum power seller status. And I ran that for several years. I made a commitment to myself that this is also around the time when there was late night infomercials come on, become an eBay millionaire, right? Here's guru courses on how to do this. And I see this coming, and I told myself, I'm going to keep this going until I drop below 20% margins. But ultimately hit the point of, okay, it's we're too saturated. I'm 18%, I'm 17% margin. I told myself I'm not trading my time for this anymore. And ultimately that was the time to shut down ground zero.
Do you just watch him and be like, this is my son?
I'm so blessed. yeah, that's pretty amazing. I'm so grateful.
You did good.
Don't give me all the credit. His dad was very much a part of it. Well, of course, he worked on job sites.
Yeah.
So he did have to travel a lot.
Yeah.
Which gave us the freedom to travel and be gone too.
Yeah.
So did he learn from his dad because I know you're like handy and can fix things and
Super
the work
handy.
So
the
that
work ethic came from his father.
We joke a little bit with Trish, but we 100% mean it that Clint is a unicorn. Like this does not exist normally. Like this is I don't know. Like and like here's an example. Trish and I were having a day where we decided to just lay out by the pool because we didn't have anything else to do, rough life. And we're out there just relaxing and chilling. This man is like working, And at one point he comes outside. He's like, I thought you guys could use some snacks.
Oh.
It's like, you need some more water? I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Two things I was going to ask
Yeah.
you. What was the name of your when you put that paintball team together, you and your buddies?
Yeah.
Your team name. Oh,
This is going to sound very
I'm going to make
silly.
him. I'm going to make him say it.
This was in the era of paintball. The names were, the paintball team names were rather aggressive sounding, and we wanted something a little more humorous. It was called Suicidal Rug Burn. Suicidal Rug Burn was the name of our paintball team. Yeah, we competed local tournaments, had a couple of small sponsors. We played for free at the fields we went to with local sponsorships, right? We got to the point where I was a captain. We had a co-cap. We grew to the point where we'd enter 3-man, 5-man, or even maybe 1 or 2 10-man tournaments, where we had such a large roster that we would split into an A and a B team. So there was a captain of an A and a captain of a B team. But yeah, it was Suicidal Rug Burn was the name. Teen tournaments, right? So we're mostly played other teen tournaments. A couple of open, meaning like unlimited. You're playing against anybody with any gear, but mostly teen tournaments.
I don't think I even realized that paintball, like there were paintball tournaments. I totally thought it was just like a thing you went out to a field
I
and
have
did.
never done,
And
by the way, because I
haven't either.
am
I'm
too
scared
afraid
of
getting hit.
yeah.
Because
Well, and so I had a friend that she would play, and then she would send me pictures of like
A welt?
her bruises and everything. I'm like, yeah, I don't. That does not sound fun to me at all.
Well, you try not to get shot.
Yeah, of course. So, were you surprised when they made the decision to move to Puerto Rico?
You know, and it didn't hit me, the impact and the change and how big it was until they were gone a couple months. And I couldn't just call and let's get together and can I have Emily and can she come spend the night?
Because how close were you guys when you were still in
Close.
Washington?
We had really become close.
May-
20 miles?
maybe.
Yeah.
Traffic can be an hour drive, but yeah, not far.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it. I mean, we're packing the car. I had a great big garage sale to get rid of some of his stuff.
Made my mom power of attorney to
Yeah.
handle some real estate transactions
Yeah, I mean,
in
everything
Washington
was
State.
gone.
My mom signed the closing docs for us as we
Yeah.
sold and left, burned the boats and figure. What is the worst that happens? The worst that happens is we live on a tropical island for a couple of years. We have some new adventures, we make some new friends, and then we move back. That is the absolute capped downside. And we're going on 4 years now, and it's been great. But if that's the max downside, middle of lockdown, frankly,
Yeah.
Bellevue Mall gets looted. There's National
Oh, it
Guard
was
in our
bad.
neighborhoods.
Oh, sure enough.
And we lived
Yeah.
in nice areas. It became, I'm done. I'm opting out of this. It's time to go someplace else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you have a beautiful place to come visit.
Oh, to come visit.
Anytime you want.
Yes. It's so beautiful
Yeah.
here. I mean, the warmth, even the warmth is different. You get warm to your core here. At home, you put on layers of jackets to try and warm up. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not, we don't get a lot of snow and stuff, but it's chilly. It's cold and it's gray.
Do you have any like meals that your mom would make you that you absolutely loved that you miss sometimes?
Yeah, man, that's a
never-
that's a really
Because you
good
can
one.
make it yourself, but it's never the same as mom makes.
There's
know?
two. I got two. I got maybe three. There, what did, I thought this was normal. You think your childhood is everybody else's has the same experience, and only later do you realize that there's some uniqueness to some of the recipes. Spaghetti with Campbell's tomato soup. I thought everybody did that. You have
Yep.
hamburger and the spaghetti sauce is
Yep.
condensed Campbell's tomato soup.
Yeah.
I love it. I thought that was
That's what you do.
really, I wasn't introduced until actual spaghetti sauce until much later in life, and I didn't miss out on it at all.
And was that how
No, it's
you
actually
grew
her,
up? I mean, like,
his dad's tradition. He grew
Okay.
up with that. And I just
Oh,
adopted
funny.
it, and that's, nobody complained.
Yeah.
So we just
Yeah.
kept going. Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Any others?
We were discussing this the other day. My dad always put cheese on his steaks.
Really?
And so when we had steak, there was
Yes.
always cheese
Cheese?
on
I
the
thought
steak.
that's all you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he introduced that. Slather it with all
Different kinds.
Like what kind of cheese?
Cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
Okay.
always.
I feel like I need to try that just to say I did it.
Yeah.
How do you like your steak?
Here it's going to be more towards the medium well. If I'm someplace, depending on the restaurant, I'll go medium.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
How about you, Janice? How do you like
I'm
your
more
steak?
towards medium well.
Medium well.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm not a big steak eater.
So yeah. So was there anything that your mom made you eat that you just did not like?
I didn't like Brussels sprouts as a kid.
yes.
I mean, now I love them.
Yeah.
Now I love them.
Okay, but let's
Yeah.
talk about this for a second. Brussels sprouts, because we're the same age, and Brussels sprouts when we were kids are not the same as they are now. Like they were not prepared the same way.
I think you're right.
Right? I don't know what we did in the 80s with Brussels sprouts. Like,
Just steam them.
I don't think I ever had
Yeah,
Brussels sprouts
just
as a
steam
kid.
them.
My mom was more like, here, eat your lima beans.
oh well, I definitely had lima
Ugh.
beans too, but I liked
Ugh.
lima beans.
Ugh.
I'm a weirdo, I know. I
Yeah.
feel like Brussels sprouts changed somewhere along the way.
A lot of
Somebody
things
like
have changed.
yeah,
A lot
yeah,
of things have
yeah.
changed.
This is
Yes.
true. This is true. Yes.
Oh, beets. Miss me
do
with
you-
beets.
do you-
No.
Oh, beets, that's right. Beets, that's a
Yeah,
biggie.
me and
like
you.
beets?
I like beets.
I like beets.
That's
Oh,
against them.
good for you. I like beets. And we grew our own. We had a big garden. We did all our
Oh.
canning
when
and
they're,
all our.
when they're prepared,
like-
right,
like
they're
Shroot
so
Farms?
So
yummy.
good, yeah.
I mean,
So
yeah,
you
know what
if
I'm
you don't
talking about?
prepare
Shroot
them,
Farms?
You know, it
Oh,
tastes
Shroot
like
Farms,
dirt.
The Office.
But I've done so many things with beets that are really good.
Really good. And
Gross.
we got spoiled because we raised our own pork and our own beef.
Oh, that's cool.
I
Ah.
have a hard time eating. I'll buy store-bought bacon, but I'm looking forward to the pulled pork Clint's making. But I have a hard time eating pork that's
Ooh.
not, that
yeah,
we grew.
yeah, yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
Well, now Clint smokes things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
yummy.
Yeah.
So good. Oh,
He
sorry,
smokes meats.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's some pork shoulder. There's some pork
To be
shoulder.
clear.
I'm cooking now.
I mean, I don't
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some.
he smokes things. I don't. What else could that mean? Oh,
well, I don't know. We were talking about
That's
marijuana
right.
earlier.
Catnip and marijuana.
All
That's
All
right.
right. Let's not.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
Okay.
We don't want to start rumors. Do you have a favorite Palmas restaurant?
Oh, it was like 3 visits ago. The power was out at several areas, and we went to this one that had a generator or something. But you and Trish are sitting. I'm facing you two, and we're sitting at kind of a bistro table outside.
Is it near the marina where there are
Yes.
boats nearby?
Yes.
Chinchos. I believe that was
What was that?
Chinchos.
Yeah,
Chinchos.
okay.
Does
Yeah.
that sound familiar?
That's good. That was good.
Oh,
I
nice.
enjoyed that. Yeah.
I love that.
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite
Nice.
restaurant, Clint? Kind of go to.
Let's see here inside the gates. You know, we just went to the food truck place.
Yeah.
So I
That's
took my
good.
mom there yesterday.
Good.
They're-
By
yeah,
Home
yeah,
Depot?
Yeah.
I still haven't gone.
I mean, Buccaneros is.
It's been 3 years and
probably
I
one
haven't
of,
been
one,
there.
One of my favorites. I've never eaten at the food truck, so we'll use them for catering. Their brisket is fantastic.
love
But
their
just
brisket.
just yesterday, we went. There's a place that does hot dogs, different types of hot dogs. I had a hot dog. My mom had a hamburger,
I
a
had a
smash
smash
burger.
burger.
That was really great.
It was good
That
food.
was really great.
Yeah.
What about in Palmas?
Inside of Palmas, if there's a staple we go to, yeah, but it's probably because it's new. The pizza joint, the new pizza
Oh,
joint
yeah,
is
yeah.
the new pizza
They're
joint is
doing
pretty
a really
good.
good job.
Augustina's, we were there just a couple of
That
days
was
ago.
good.
Their
Yeah.
service is on point.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
They are,
Great
I mean,
service.
really great
Yeah.
folks, really attentive, and
Yes.
at a level that really haven't seen down here in Palmas in a while. They do a great job.
I love that the owner is always like she's always there and like comes
Yes.
and says hi.
It's
At least
Exactly.
So we love Palmas. We love visiting Palmas. We love living in Palmas.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the Not So Newlywed game, where we ask you questions. You'll answer, and then you'll also answer them for your spouse.
Okay.
And we're going to see just how well you know each other. So it's 5 questions.
Okay.
And we're going to ask you for your answer first, and then I'll go through it again, and you'll say what you think Trish's answer is.
Okay.
And then we're going to go back and we're going to judge you.
So first, I'll give the answer that would be real for me,
Yes.
and then how I think Trish would answer the same question.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What is your dream vacation destination?
That's a tough one. Vacation unplugging is usually not. It's not stress. It's stressful for me to take vacation, which sounds weird, but it is what it is. I'd love to go to the Holy Land. I'd love to go to the Middle East. I'd love to see
Yeah.
that stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mer.
think there's so much history.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun to see.
What do you think Trish's answer is?
I think Trish would say someplace in Europe. I think Trish would say, man, I was going to be a shot in the dark. Trish would say Germany.
Okay. So what is one thing you could spend a ridiculous amount of money on without regret?
One thing I could
know
spend
her.
a
I remember her
ridiculous-
answer
Oh, good.
because I remember my response to her answer.
I don't remember her answer. I'm sure it will come. to me.
What have I spent a ridiculous amount of money on without regret? That it's man, I only get one, don't I?
Sure do.
I only get one. It's going to be one of these two. I wish. I'm going to say it's going to be an Acura NSX. That particular car
Okay.
with little asterisks there.
Okay.
Cirrus, an airplane. One of those two.
High five.
there you go.
So
Okay, half credit.
So
half
Trish,
credit.
so Trish actually said she's like planes, and I'm like, how many does he have now? Yeah. So what do you think that Trish's answer was for herself?
Trish's answer for purse or purses.
Purses. What is a quirky habit that you have?
A quirky. A quirky habit.
Oh yes, I know. Yes.
I almost brought it up earlier too, and I'm glad I did now.
I'm gonna anal retentive loading of the dishwasher. That's not ringing. That's not ringing any bells.
I think she brought that up though at one point. The dishwasher loading.
It could be.
It's something to do with dishes and.
I thought it was going to be being late,
Oh.
not being on time. That Trish would say. Just
No.
guess.
Trish is very
Yes.
punctual.
Yes.
She is, especially
Yeah.
in the world of Puerto Rico, where everything runs on
Yes.
island time. I will use a dish sponge.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that's
Just about
it.
anything
That's
in or near
it. Yeah.
like dish adjacent. I have no problem using a dish
Yeah.
sponge.
Yeah, it was the dish sponge.
it. Good one.
Yes. No, but do you remember what she said about him?
What?
So I thought hers was the sponge thing. Yours it?
I will use this. I will use the sponge for a whole
You would
multitude of
And
reasons.
she
Yeah,
can't,
you would
and
use
she
it,
can't
like,
add
on
that
the
the sponge is
counter,
used for
and-
one
yeah, you can't.
thing.
Only.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got reminded
Yes.
when I arrived here. That's just a reminder.
So wait, so was that Trish's or was that?
That was Trish's.
That was her weird
Yes.
quirk. Was the sponge?
Yeah, his was his
What is his?
different.
Did he say? What did you? It's not the dishwasher. It's
Not what
Yeah,
she
that
said.
she would say that I
Okay.
misuse
Yeah.
a sponge.
yes, she does say that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She would say that
Yes. You there's
I have
something that
something else.
involves when you open something.
Oh, yeah, of course, of course.
Okay.
So when you buy a bag of chips, you go to the grocery store, you come home from Econ or Ralph's, and you got your little bag of pretzels. Now, on one end of the spectrum, you could be an absolute animal and just use your teeth
Rip it
and rip
open.
that thing wide open. You're never going to get it resealed. It's just, right?
Yeah.
In a more civilized society, we grab a pair of scissors and we cut the top off the bag of our Lay's potato chips. So when we're done, we
Right.
can fold it over nice and neat and put it back in the cupboard.
Do we
So
cut it nice and straight?
We do cut it. We cut it nice and straight. We leave it so when
love
we're
it.
done, there's no jagged edges.
So I brought chips over yesterday to Becky's, and I was thinking about it because I didn't
Yeah.
open them.
Yeah.
Joel
How did
did.
Joel open them? Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, and I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, Trish. This bag of chips.
Oh my gosh! So actually,
fun.
this is actually really funny because so when I sent you the message asking if you wanted to do this,
Yeah.
you said you needed to have like a few things scheduled first, and then you'd let me know by Wednesday.
Yeah.
And you said
Yeah.
that you had set up a reminder on your phone.
Yep.
Wednesday to get back to me. So we were hanging out on Wednesday with Trish. She's like, has he gotten back to you? I'm like, no, he has not. I'm like, this is going to be the real test to see. He said that he put a reminder in his phone. And then she's like, well, what are you going to do if he doesn't respond to you today? I'm like, I'm going to send a bag of chips to his house that I have ripped open. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to give it to him. And then that evening you messaged me. So it was
there we go.
so I didn't have to do that. Oh my goodness. That was awesome.
Man
Yes.
of his word.
Okay, so last question. How do you prefer to spend your leisure time or weekends?
Leisure time or weekends. That's a great one. I got to be doing something, learning something. Trish and I will watch almost all of the All In podcast. We get a kick out of those guys, right? A new episode on Friday. So Saturday, Sunday comes around, the family's gone. We'll hour episode or so of the All In podcast. Something like that. Maybe it's a tour someplace. Maybe it's learning something new. It's doing something I've never done before. But to me, not doing anything is actually more stressful.
Yeah.
It feels like
I think Trish even said
Yeah.
he's always around the house doing, he's doing
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think Trish's answer was?
Trish's answer for Trish.
Yes.
She can hang out by the pool with a cup of tea and relax. That would be.
I actually want to say, I think she said spending time with you and Emily.
Oh wow, that's
Very
that's
nice.
very thoughtful.
Yeah.
Very considerate. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Do you think that they did okay?
her.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I think your relationship will survive.
Oh, that's.
All right.
How do you feel about that, Janice? Did you like that?
All in. Yeah, that's great.
So
That's amazing.
I kind of feel like we're wrapping up. And so there's something that I like to do. Yeah? You like it? Yes. Yes.
No,
okay.
no,
Yes. Okay.
no,
Yay.
no. I listened to.
You're gonna
It's
love
good.
this.
I listened to a. I think I know what you're going to do because I listened. Because, and I thought, what if they do that? I'm not sure.
I think it's going to be.
Maybe I'm making a leap.
You
and-
got this. You got it.
Okay.
What we would like you to do is describe each other using only 3 words.
Optimistic, energetic, and happy. I think that's
good.
that's you can't have a grandma Janice is never not excited to do something. We get caught in the rain walking around Old San Juan. I mean, we are drenched. There's not
pouring
So
not a dry
funny
spot.
because we saw
Yeah.
the picture of you yesterday
I think it was
yesterday.
day before yesterday.
2 days ago. Yeah.
No, but we saw the Trish
did
showed
she?
us the picture of you guys drenched, and you had the biggest smile on your face.
I'm jumping in the puddles.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you just have sandals on. You're wet. You're wet. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Very
Yep.
true.
What's another word for someone who he's very intuitive to the needs of others. It's just second nature. Very intuitive to the needs of others. Kind, considerate. Those go together, and very wise for his age. Very wise.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. I love it.
I
love
agree.
it.
I agree with all these words. Yes.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
Janice, Clint, thank you so much for being on our show. This was
been a
so.
blast.
This
This
was
was
so
so
awesome.
fun.
I love it. Love
Yay.
It was so fun.
Yes.
Never done anything like this, so this was amazing.
And
thank you for making it comfortable and fun, and
Yeah.
thank you
Now,
for that.
and now let's go see some forearms on that ground.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's okay.
that's what we're doing. We'll take a picture.